Welcome to the Cars and Cancer podcast. It's episode 8 and our first episode of 2023. No shock to you all, but I'm joined by Andy and Darren. Good evening, gentlemen.
Evening, Aid.
Evening.
Evening, Andrew.
Are you there, Andy?
Yeah, I'm back now.
You're back now. Okay.
For some reason, just cut out for something. I don't know why.
Oh, okay. We've had a little chat earlier, but did you both have a good Christmas and a happy New Year? Please say yes. This is going to be a bad start.
Had a great time.
How about you, Andy? Anything exciting? Did you go bungee jumping for Christmas? All that kind of exciting things?
No, I had to look after the kids because my wife wasn't very well. So, that's me sorted for Christmas. But she's back on her feet now.
Yeah.
So we should be all right. We've done a few things today. So it's our last day today. She's back to work tomorrow.
Oh, of course, yeah. I'm back to work tomorrow. I bet you are as well, aren't you, Darren?
I am, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Or you're swanning off on holiday. That's normally what you do.
No holidays, mate. Not yet. Not
right,
yet.
Okay,
no.
that's fine.
No,
okay.
No, I'm being good. I've got to earn some pennies now, or try to earn some pennies
to pay for your next holiday in 2 weeks. Yeah.
No, no, it's buy something for my car actually.
Oh. So is everybody feeling better then, Andy?
Yes, I've got my bloods tomorrow.
Ooh.
So
is that routine?
No, check them for my next chemo, which will be Wednesday night.
Okay.
It's my next chemo. It's my third chemo this time.
Yeah.
So hopefully I should be all right with my bloods.
So they upped it, didn't they, on your second round?
They upped it, so I imagine I'll be upped again. I'll be the same as I was last time, but not upped anymore.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
That's the maximum, that is, Andrew, that they can go to.
I don't know. I'd have to ask her. I'd say, is that the maximum that you can give people? I don't really know. It might be, but it might not be.
Right.
I'll ask her when I speak to her. I'm going to speak to her on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'll say, can you have any more, or is this tops? But I wouldn't like to take any more.
No, have you got the balance about right at the moment then?
No, well, it's not a good balance to have, but yeah, I wouldn't be able to take any more, I don't think.
Okay.
No.
Okay. And I probably ask you this every week, and I apologise. When are we going to get a rough idea of, how it's going? Did you mention a scan at some point?
So I'll ask her if I'm going to have a scan when I speak to her on Tuesday, and then I should get a bit more of idea of how it's working or how much more she'll think I'll have to take, and give me a bit more idea about how far we're going to go, if she wants me to do 12 or if they worked really well and I can do 2 more. So I don't know. I'll ask her and I'll let you know.
Because it's a bit strange, really, isn't it? Because they won't be able to see how well it's doing until they've had the scan. So I suppose they don't know if they're giving you too much or not enough, or so there must be a scan quite soon, I imagine, to see if it's having the desired effect.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah,
and see what they say.
Because it sounds like they're a little bit in the dark, same as yourself, doesn't it, at the minute?
Well, yeah,
it's a bit of guesswork, or a lot of guesswork.
We need to look at the next scan to see if it's working or not, and I think they'll give me some more information on that.
Yeah.
And which scan would that be, Andy? Because there's the CT scan, there's the one with the polo. Oh, I can't remember. There's about 3 different scan types, isn't there? MRI scan. That's it. Yeah.
That's one I normally have, an MRI. So I have to go for like an intravenous where they put a dye in me.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they can't use my right arm because that's where I had my skin thing for my head. So I have to use my left arm, and I have to go for where they ultrasound you to try and find a good vein.
Oh yeah.
So I have to go and have that done first, and then wait for my scan. Obviously, the days are done where they can just stick it in and it works. They have to try and find one somewhere. Mm-hmm. So that normally takes about half an hour before I go in.
Are you a bit of a pain then when it comes to getting a vein? Then are you?
Because I can't use my right arm.
Yeah.
I've got to use my left arm, and there's not many open veins left in my left arm, so it's normally out near my thumb or around there. These little ones that they can try and get out of. Yeah. Or it'll have to be into my feet,
Ooh,
which is never a good one.
No, no.
I had that when I was in hospital, in both feet.
that's very
Yeah.
strange.
Very strange, yeah. And then I had this this one where they went down for theatre and they put it into my heart there. That's got a fandangled name. It's got left a scar. That sort of
yes, Hickman line.
Hickman
Yeah,
line.
Yeah, I had a
yeah,
Hickman line
right.
for my treatment as well, which made it a damn sight easier. But sometimes, I don't know if you ever found, Andy, that I don't know if I'm not going to explain it very well, but my understanding is a Hickman line is it something that goes straight into which one goes to your vein or your artery, and then it allows them to administer what they would in an injection, and they can get it straight into your bloodstream, can't they? And it's like a little valve that you have, and I
Yeah.
had it on my chest. I think I can't remember if it was my left
That's
or
it.
my
Yeah,
right side.
Left hand and my chest.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's right, because that's where your heart is, isn't it? So that's probably where it gets to it quicker.
Yeah.
And that's a bit strange having that fitted, but it does make it a lot easier because you're not a pincushion anymore to a degree, are you? Really, you can just they open up this valve and I think they flush it first, so they get any crap any crap out of there, and then
Yeah.
yeah,
they
that's
could.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
have you had it done as well, Darren?
No, I never. Ryan did. My son.
Oh, of
He had that
course,
because
yeah.
he had Hodgkin's, uh, slightly different type to yours,
Hmm.
but he was the same when he had that. We used to make a joke out of it actually to just try and tune him up. We used to say that he looked a bit like because there's more than one sort of tube coming from it, isn't there?
Yes,
And
yes.
we used to say, we need to colour code then, Brian. You look like a TV cable going in the back of the area. Like,
Yeah, like the white and red cables that you
that's
get
it. And
for
the yellow,
audio.
yeah, you got the three, yeah. So we used that, and he said, yeah, go on, Dad, go and get some tape out of the garage. I said, I don't think you're going to be very pleased with it.
Yeah, what's this electrical tape doing on here? Oh, all right,
Yeah,
okay.
that's it, yeah, yeah.
Did he have to put a big patch on when he went in the shower, a bit like a big clear
Yeah, that's
sticker
it,
kind of
yeah, he
thing?
had to
So it,
thing in it all, yeah, all the way back to keep it all dry
Right.
and all that. Yeah,
yeah,
but it took a lot of pressure off.
yes,
Going in, like you say, oh, we just need to, it's a little injection today, you just got to put a cannula in, and
mm.
you sit there, and it just means they can do everything instantly, really, and it saves a lot of stress on the patient, doesn't it?
It really does, yeah. Because if you're
Yeah,
half asleep or you're having a day where you're not feeling great and you're just lying there, they
they
can
can
crack
just get
on
on
with
it,
it
can't they? Yeah,
and get on with
yeah,
it. I
yeah,
did find it a bit of a pain at times for me. Sometimes it would get a little bit blocked and they'd have to put like a flush through a couple of times.
yeah,
I've had flushes like every time.
Yeah, and you end up
Blocked
doing
it.
like a chicken dance where you have to wave your arms and things to try and get the circulation going and all that kind of thing. And yeah, all sorts of silly maneuvers that you have to
yeah.
do. And then finally it clears itself out and then they can give
Yeah.
you whatever they've got to do. So have you got that at the
Yeah.
moment then, Andy, or are you going to have that fitted?
No, I only had it when I was having my
Oh, okay.
last year when I was having them antibiotics when it all got infected.
Yeah.
They were trying to put it into me. It was taking like half an hour to an hour to get a vein in my left arm.
Hmm.
Right.
My arm was in a pad on a machine, and it was only on my left arm. So in the end, they said I need to go for one of these Pickman line
Yeah.
things.
And they do it when you're
So,
awake, don't they? While you're in the operating theatre.
yeah.
Yeah.
Stay like that. Don't move. So you're staying like that, and you're not moving. Like, I can feel that moving out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
and then when you come out, you got to stay in the same position.
yeah. Easier said than done, though.
Yeah, but no, it was all right. And then I come out of hospital and I still had it in. And I
Yeah.
had to wait for an appointment to go and have it taken out.
Yes.
Rather than it being taken out when I was in hospital. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was. It worked really well. But I just wasn't sure on how they were going to take it out when I'd gone home, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And and I remember when they take it out, and I think they make a small incision, and I think
Yeah.
they literally just thread it out. I think they almost sort of just pull it out. It does feel very strange to think that you've got a tube in your chest and it's going up, and I think it goes up to your neck or it's around your neck area or something like that, or whatever. It does feel a bit strange, but you get used to it, and
Yeah.
I think the most nerve wracking thing was going into theatre and you're wide awake and you're lying in there and you're wondering what the hell's going on. But it is it's nerve-wracking for anybody who has it done, really. But the nurses and doctors and surgeons and stuff, they're lovely.
Yeah.
That this is like them changing a set of brake pads on a car. They sort of do this every day, don't they? It's like their bread and butter. And they just
did have a nurse who helped me put it in. You know, like when you're having something done, someone will stand by and they'll hold your hand.
Yeah.
I prefer somebody to hold my hand and tell me what's going on. Rather than they just cracking on with it and nobody telling you where you are or what's happened or if anything's going wrong or if anything's going good.
Yeah.
So I did have a real good nurse who taught me through what they were doing. I mean, I have had times when no one's been there doing that and I was just a bit like, what's going on? You know.
Yeah.
And
I think sometimes that maybe they forget, don't they? They forget what people are going through, kind of thing.
Yeah. But when I had it taken out, bit of a funny story. She took it out. She caught the needle on her own, cut through the glove, and put my blood inside her finger.
Oh God!
They were like, "Oh God, something's going on." I'm like, well, what's going on? And nobody would tell me until I finished.
Yeah.
And they said, "We need to take blood from you now and take it from you for the rest of the year because obviously she's got your blood inside her." I'm like, well, I've been here for how long? You know, I've not got like anything bad. You'd pick up on it, wouldn't you? And they tried to get blood out of me and they couldn't get it out. So they just had to do it off her and she had to go in for a year and have it done. It's like, get in. You can pestering me for bloody blood all the time. And I've had this thing put in.
I tell you what, as funny stories go, Andy, that's not the funniest I've heard. That sounds bloody dreadful.
Because obviously, that is a really hard thing for the doctors to do now. Because I've got a tattoo on this arm.
Yeah.
And they don't like taking them out of tattoos because they can't see properly, can they?
Oh, okay.
Makes me think I should never had it done, but yeah.
Well, I can't see for the vein, like.
You can't see the vein for it, no.
Oh, right, because my Jackie's, she's a phlebotomist. My wife is.
Yeah.
She's been doing that for 20 odd years, and she will look and see if she gets one. But she says that she finds most of her veins by just feeling it with the tip of her finger.
Yeah.
And she says that sometimes she very rarely gets anyone that she can't get blood from. They everywhere else that she goes, they always say, "Oh, we've got a difficult one. They'll have to rebook you in again," and they always seem to book her back up with Jack again. But she said the same. She goes in people's feet in all sorts of strange places, and she say, "Oh, I can just feel a tiny one there." And she does it on me sometimes. I said, "Where? There's nothing. No, I can't feel really anything to see. It's nothing. There's a little tiny one just under there." They do it. I do not know.
Are you talking about your vein, Darren?
No, don't say things like that in public. But you ain't got the video going, innit? Jack, help.
It'll be on TikTok soon. Don't worry.
No, I went for an MRI. You know when the Queen's funeral was?
Yeah.
I went to have an MRI scan on that day, and I went in to the MRI scan where they normally find your vein and put it in. They couldn't find it, so I went to see a doctor in where they scan it properly, and he tried 4 times and couldn't get blood out of me. The doctor.
Right.
So I had to come away. Couldn't have it because I couldn't have this guy put in me.
Oh dear, you're a pain in the arse, really, aren't you?
Honestly, I'm just like, what do you want me to do? Like, I wore a glove, the arm thing to keep my hand warm, hot water bottle on the way up, so I kept my arm nice and warm.
Yeah, and you have to do that clenching thing, don't you, with your hand? Open and close your hand and clench your fist. Yeah.
When the doctor stuck the needle in me, it bent the needle. Like, what do you want me to do? I was using where your veins are. In a separate room, yeah.
I'm thinking of the doctor off The Simpsons. Hello, everybody.
Yeah. No, I'm not the best person to get to put the dye in me.
Yeah.
No.
But I might give him blood, but not. What do they call them now? Intravenous, do they? I'll find out what it is. They put in you to give you dye in you.
Yeah.
Is that the one where they put like the dye or they're like a little metal fragments in there?
They leave it in you and they come in halfway through and say we're going to give you a little bit of a dye.
Yeah.
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 Because obviously they can't see what's on the scan without giving me the dye.
Yeah.
So there's no point me having a scan because I haven't got the dye in me.
Ah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Andy, you were saying about talking about taking blood.
Yeah.
Silly question, and because you've got a brain tumor, can
Yeah.
you give blood? Can you be a donor?
I don't know. Going off how I've been treated with blood, I don't think I would
No,
give blood. No.
because of all the chemo in your system and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Kelly used to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But they stopped doing it around here for some reason.
Okay, I was just intrigued really because it's in an isolated area, and it's maybe it's not in your bloodstream, so I didn't know if they could use your blood, but you're having all sorts of medication and things, I suppose. So it makes sense not to really.
Yeah.
Because if I remember rightly, I've been told that I can't give blood now.
Right.
I don't know if it's the same for you as well, Darren. But I'm under the impression that because of the treatment we've had and that kind of thing, that I can't give blood to other people.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't been told anything, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been told, Aid.
No.
Well, I'm telling you now.
Have you not got a sound effect for that one, Aid?
A sound effect. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So yes, I've had a sound effect. What's it called? It's called a sound machine. I've got 15 of the different sounds for Christmas, and so I'm going to play a sound now, and you've got to tell me what it is. Okay? Ready? Here we go. Did that come through okay?
Is that what it is?
Is that what? Sorry?
Was that what it is or who it is?
No, it's just. What does it sound like to you?
I don't know.
Something you get at the end of the country and western song.
Yeah. It's called a yeehaw.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, it's groundbreaking technology on this podcast. So I might treat you to another sound effect a bit later.
Okay.
But don't get too excited. Okay.
I don't think that was the one that I wanted you to play, Aid.
All right. Do you want to try another one? Okay.
Yeah,
Do you like that one?
that one's better.
Okay. All right. Then. Okay. So I'll make a note of that, not to use the yeehaw. Yeah. So you're going to be on your chemo later this week, then. So that's
Wednesday night.
Yeah. So
My
keep us posted on that one.
No.
Right, gentlemen, some serious matter now.
Right.
I'm getting a bit of an echo of someone. I don't know who it is. But anyway, yes, Andy. Episode 7. Let me take you back to last year. We talked about things that we had for Christmas or toys that we had relating to cars. Yeah. You mentioned Scale Extric. Do you remember the conversation?
Yeah.
You said you'd find out which Scale Extric it was. Have you done your homework?
So I did some homework, and I did come up with, it was a police car and a lorry, but it wasn't what I had.
Right.
Whether I've forgotten what I had and this was it, I don't know, because it was a few years ago.
Yeah.
But yes, I can't really.
Have you checked with your brothers? Because you were probably locked in the toy box when they were playing with it,
yes.
weren't you? So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Maybe you need to check with them. But yeah, I'd never heard of a police car and a lorry. It's an unusual Scale Extric set, really. But,
No, the cool son.
Okay, so you did do your homework. That's good. I had some homework as well, and I talked about, were there more than 4 stages of cancer? And I did a bit of research, and I went on the Cancer Research website, and there are. It does deviate in certain areas, but generally there are 4. So you've got stage 1, which is mainly contained within the organ it started in. That's so. I suppose if you've got, but maybe that's a bit like you, Andy, isn't it? Contained in one organ it started in, so yours is in your brain. Stage 2, the tumour is larger than a stage 1, and cancer has not spread sometimes it can spread to the lymph nodes close to the tumour. So that's stage 2. Stage 3, cancer is larger, spreads to the surrounding tissues and cancer cells in the lymph nodes nearby. Stage 4, which is the last one, cancer spread from where it started to another organ, also called something metastatic cancer. So there you go. So I did my homework as well. So there are 4. I think some class 5, but I think the general rule is that there are 4 stages. And that was that was my homework for today. Darren, I couldn't find any homework for you.
What a teacher!
Yeah, but what I might do, I might set you some homework by the end.
Oh, okay then. So I don't get away with it then?
No. Darren, Andy, if you think of anything you can do for homework, then catch you on that one.
Oh, you get now. Right.
So let me take you back to Christmas in my family. We, my brother-in-law, stepbrother, came up with the idea of having a talent competition. So on Boxing Day, we went round and we had to do perform a talent of some sort. Yeah. And I came up with a poem. And do you know what the poem's about, gentlemen? This is what you guess. It's about us three.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not a great poet, so my poems have to rhyme. So I suppose it's not just a poem. It's a riddle or something like that, or whatever they call it. Would you like to hear it?
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. It's called The Three Wise Men. See what I've done there?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if I can read my handwriting again. Here we go. I'd like to tell you of a story of how a friendship was made between 3 blokes, Darren, Andy, and Aid. Andy by trade works with metal, so things like trusses. Darren, who's good with his hands, happily trims your bushes. And finally, Aid, he makes up the 3. His trade is far more boring. He works in IT. The guys met at a course hosted by Macmillan, a small class of 5, so hardly a big un. So this is where our wise men would meet, supplied with coffee, biscuits, and a nice comfy seat. As the sessions went on, they'd learn more of one another. With similar interests, it was like discovering a new brother. Sadly, after 6 weeks, the sessions end. But the guys are adamant they'd always remain good friends. As the years pass, the friendship grows, spending more time together visiting many car shows. Their friendship is honest and true. They all love cars. Both Darren and Andy's are blue. Darren owns a Jag and 2 SD Rovers. And bless our Andy, he sure loves his Novas. Aid, the sensible, is Mondeo man, and they work on their cars whenever they can. In mid-22, Mallory Park they did go to see a really interesting retro car show. All sorts of classics from their era, from Nissan to Manta, Starion to Sierra. Whilst at the show, a chat would begin. But little did they know someone was listening in. Cars cancer was what the chat was about. And then the bloke said, I enjoyed that, chaps. When's the podcast coming out? So that was it. That did sow the seed. And that was all the momentum that they would need to create a podcast to help those who've been there. For those who've had family who they've had to care. 3 months have passed and they're 7 episodes strong. You'll find them on Spotify, YouTube. They're around about 50 minutes long. The guys talk about cancer and their love of cars, helping those with an illness very similar to ours. Sharing thoughts and experiences of what we've been through to help everyday people like him, her, and you. We're now stretching out onto Instagram and Facebook. So if you've got the time, please take a look. These places to show you the things that we've done, with pictures, stories, and a sprinkling of fun. So much more planned for 2023, and if you're lucky, you'll see us on TV. So as Christmas passes and Big Ben's bells start to chime near, from Andy, Darren, and Aid, we wish you a happy new year. There you go, gents. The three wise men.
Brilliant, mate. Well done.
Did you win?
No, I didn't win.
Oh, no.
Nobody won. I was up against the kids, so I don't think it would have been fair, particularly.
No.
But yes, so I thought it did a poem. I did that on Boxing Day morning, sitting there with a coffee, and it all came to me. So I thought I'd share that with you.
Yeah, really good that was, Aid.
I really value our friendship, and it felt good. It felt right. It felt nice.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, what are we going to have a chat about? So how are we doing for time? So we're about 20-odd minutes in, are we? Something like that. Yeah, 26 minutes in. And we've kind of touched on it a bit, but I wanted to get your feel on, because obviously people going through cancer, there's a strong possibility that obviously you're going to go into hospital. But have you guys had to stay in hospital overnight as part of your treatment? I mean, I imagine you have, Andy, but have you had to stay in overnight, Darren?
Yes, I have. Yeah, a couple of.
How did you find it? The sort of, you might not be able to remember specifically, but how did it feel that first night that you stayed in hospital?
The first night, not too bad really, because I started going a bit downhill, got an infection, and it all went a bit haywire, and I was just glad to be sort of laying down all the time, if you like, and I felt absolutely terrible. So once I was in there, I was quite happy to be in there, if I'm honest, on the first, initially anyway. And then I had to stay in for a bit longer than what they thought, and then they came round, because I was in the room on my own, which was fine, I just wanted to be out of the way, if you like, but no, there was people around me. And then I got took out of there and then moved into a ward of 4, and I just didn't want to go in it. I had this little room on my own. It was sort of like, for a few days, and I've got to go into this room. And that's where I met a chap in there. We became really, really good friends, and after a couple of days, he settled in, and he was kind of like, he wasn't in a good place himself, but he was there kind of looking out for me all the time. Yeah, we got very close in a very short time. Didn't have a great ending, but while I was there, he sort of gave me the boost that I think I needed, really, because I wanted to be on my own in the room. But after being in the room, finding someone that I really clicked with, the same as I have with you guys, I then realised that I should have had that in the beginning. It would have helped me more, than just shutting myself away, sort of thing. But I just felt so ill at the time. I just wanted to just sort of shut my eyes and just be left. But no, I was somewhere where I was getting help, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. What about you? What about you, Andy?
I staying for a long period of time, and it was through COVID, so they completely shut the hospital down. So I didn't even have anybody come and see me. That was for.
Oh, that's not good.
And then it was. I had one person to see me for an hour each day after that. My mum and Kelly spoke to the nurses, so they will come one day, my mum will come over and take it in turns. But it was, I don't know, it was quite difficult. I don't even know what to say to that, eh?
Yeah, were you in a room on your own then?
Yeah, because obviously there was a cut and they wanted to keep me in a room on my own for that reason. But I've probably been in 5-6 times before that in rooms with other people. So I stayed over a couple of nights. But yeah, no, it was just a hard time for me, that was.
Yeah, I think for me, I didn't think I was going to stay in for a night. I think I went in and I'd had tests done, and like you said, Darren, you just feel absolutely shattered. and you just want to rest and you just want to sleep and you don't want to see what's going on. You just want to be left alone and that kind of thing. And I think then they then said, well, no, you're going to have to stay the night. And I hadn't got any kit with me, so they then get you in, you wear the hospital gown and all that kind of stuff, and you get into the bed. And I was quite scared, if I'm brutally honest. I was in a room with 3 other people, and you just see all this equipment, and there's all this, sort of like beeping and flashing. There's this, there's always some sort of monitor going off. And you're thinking, what the hell's that? What's going on? And nurses are going around and treating other people, and then they pull the curtain round them, and you're thinking, oh, what's going on? And I was actually quite scared, to be honest. And a bit like you, Darren, one of the chaps next to me, he was a lot older, and he came over and just started talking to me, and he'd obviously been there a while, and he knew the drill and knew how it worked, and he was just really nice, actually. He just sort of trying to pick me up a bit and said, "Oh, you've got to do this, mate, and you'll be okay. And come on, crack on." And but there were times where sometimes I just wanted to be in the room completely on my own. And sometimes they'd say, because of your treatment, your immune system's dropped so low, we're going to have to put you in a separate room, so you obviously don't catch anything off anybody else. And that could be quite nice at times when you had your own room and you could just rest and just go at your own pace and stuff. But I think sometimes you do need to have somebody around you, somebody to come and chat to you. And how you doing, mate? You all right? And just to make a bit of light chat and get that kind of stuff going. But I was absolutely terrified. I thought, bloody hell, I hadn't signed up for this. I've just come in and I've said I'm not feeling very well, and now I'm in hospital, and it's like, can't I just take some tablets and go home? And I don't think at that time I hadn't realised I'd got cancer, so I was just going in and and so that was quite scary.
Because I thought I was only going to I felt absolutely crap, but I thought, they're just going to give me some medication and send me back home again. And then that was it for, I think it was 8 or 9 days. I couldn't come out. They just couldn't get things down, and trying all sorts of different things to get things sorted out, and different medication, and some reacted with the other one, and it was just a horrible time, really. But the chap that actually befriended me, he was very similar. It sounds to the chap that spoke to you. He'd be there even last thing in the day, and he'd say, "Darren, I'm going to get my head down now for a bit, but just give me a shout if you need anything." And I thought, well, you're not. It was.
Did he read you a story?
It was just, he would have done if I'd asked him. I reckon he was just there all the time. At one point, he got up and he shouted to the nurse, and he said, "Get someone in here now." He said he's struggling, and he actually called the nurse and had to raise things up, you know what I mean? And he was just there all the time for me, and it just gives you that boost of confidence, because I couldn't really speak to anybody because what was going on in my mouth, so I couldn't call anyone myself. I just had to keep hitting the buzzer, and no one was coming,
No. I think the nurses are extremely busy, aren't they?
Over and doing.
They've got so many people to look after on the ward. So I'm getting a lot of echo. One of you guys.
I'm getting a lot of echo as well.
Yeah, echo. Your voice is breaking a little bit as you're speaking sometimes, coming this way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I don't know where the echo was coming from.
Right. I say you both sound really clear from what I can hear.
Yeah.
This time. It's Andrew isn't breaking up. You are a tiny bit as you're speaking, but it's only slight.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop me hearing what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you can't talk about me yet.
No, I don't know if we're getting. Yeah, I can hear it now. I don't know if it's like I can hear it. I don't know if it's you, Darren. Can you go on mute for a second, Darren? You just press the mute button at the bottom. To the left of the pause button. That's okay. Yeah, have a look at that. If you go on mute, and then I'll chat to Andy and see if it makes a difference.
Are you getting a echo now, Aid?
No, I'm not getting an echo now. It's that bloody Darren, isn't it? Yeah. You can come back and join us now, Darren. It's your fault.
Hello.
It's you.
Is it?
Yeah, it's you in that bloody bunker again.
Yeah.
Mm. Oh,
That's no good, is it?
oh, it's not doing it now. Oh, we'll just have
It's
to put
not
you on
doing
mute
it.
every now and again. It just sort of resets it or
So
whatever.
you mean I just moved the phone? It was just on the side. It's actually I'm sitting in the little room where I do all my artwork, and I actually just pop the phone onto where the easel is. Now I've picked it up in my left hand, and I'm sitting here holding it sort of at head height.
Yeah.
I can't sit like this for an hour.
Oh, it suits me fine, so crack on.
Oh, okay then.
It's much better now.
I know what I can do. I've got one of those little tripods what you can put phones on to take photos.
There you go.
I'll have to get that set up then. Yeah, not quite as high tech as your little office with all your monitors and then your earpiece, your Madonna earpiece, and all that. Robocop technology and all that malarkey.
Have I got a sound effect for technology? Let's have a look. What have we got? No, I haven't got a sound effect for technology. How about this? There you go. That's supposed to be some sort of cuckoo clock. Would you like a fart?
That's something that used to be on one of the kiddies' programs. What was it now?
There you go. That was supposed to be a fart, by the way.
You're not selling it, Aid. You're not selling it.
I'm not.
No.
It's available in all good stockists.
No? That was a bad one.
No, okay, fair enough. But yeah, the hospital thing was just something I found very strange. And when you were saying, Darren, that you felt that you wanted to be in hospital and you felt you didn't want to go home, you felt comfortable there. Did you ever find it difficult when you were released from hospital? Did you ever miss the hospital? Because I missed it. There were times where I felt that I wanted to go back to hospital because I felt safe there, and I felt that if anything went wrong or whatever, because when you're in hospital and you're in bed and something's not quite right, they give you pain relief, they do this, they do that, or whatever, and they're looking after you. And then all of a sudden they say, right, you can go home now. Yeah, I found it really strange. I felt lost in a way. I felt, is that it?
I did it. I did a bit. I think I was okay probably because I got the infection set in, and that's why I had to go in hospital, and that was probably about after 3 weeks of having treatment. So it's kind of like in the middle of my radiotherapy that I got that. So up until then, it was just a case of back and forwards. And I thought, other than the bad side of things, everything was okay. And once I went in there for that week, when I come back, because Jack, she just stayed off work until she could go back. Well, it was able to go back, because of me. She just said, I'll see you when I see you, basically, at the hospital, and she was there all the time. So Jack was there all the while with me. But when I did come back out, and then she had to nip somewhere to go to the shop or go and get some stuff or go shopping and things like this, I found that I would go upstairs and go back onto my bed because I couldn't sleep laying down. I had to sleep sitting up for the 6 weeks pretty much. So I'd go back up there, get myself comfortable. If I could fall to sleep, I was okay. But if not, if I sat downstairs, I was like, well, how long is she going to be? Should back now. It's like an hour's gone, hour and a half. When's she coming back? And I'd be saying all this to myself. And I thought, well, all I can do is either sit in that seat or sit in this seat. And I couldn't do anything. I didn't particularly want or need anything, but I couldn't get it or do it if I wanted to. You know what I mean? Yes. I think it's just that. And I thought, well, I'd hear myself now saying to myself, just sit here and wait. She ain't going to be long.
Yeah.
But
you need to know something's there, don't you?
Yeah. And it's only an hour or so, a couple of hours, but it seemed like a day or 2 days, like never ending, because you can't stop looking at the clock. And then when they come in, I said, you're fine. I'll probably just fall asleep again then anyway. And I was fine though because she was there. It's just knowing that she was there, if you like. But yeah, I did get that when I come out, but not before then, because I was in that sort of zone, just being at home. Yeah. And it didn't bother me too much if she went out, But once I was coming out, I think it was coming away from all the sort of everybody around you in the hospital, buzzing and busy and around you, and constantly coming up, changing things and doing things, even if it's to someone else. There's just people all the time, isn't there?
Yes.
And then you come home, and then when you've only got one person, which is your partner, and then they go out for a little while, that's it. Just nobody here.
No, it does feel a bit.
Yeah, it definitely plays on your mind. Yeah.
I mean,
sorry, Darren, Andy.
Sorry, because mine was through COVID and I was only allowed someone to be there for an hour. The same sort of thing you were on about. I needed somebody to be there because I just felt. So I was in a room on my own, and I only saw the nurses when they need to give me 4 drips a day and doing my temperature and stuff in between. I just needed somebody there to chat to.
Yeah.
Like when my mum and Callie come, I'd just sit there and I'd be like, just a general chat, and I'd be like, oh, this is good. And then they go, and I'm like, oh, I need somebody here. I don't like being on my own.
Yeah.
I just need somebody to be in the room to have a chat to. Now, I know I couldn't be in a room with other people because of my infection, but I don't know. It's a really weird feeling. I just didn't feel comfortable being in hospital when I had that infection.
No.
I remember saying, because they were saying you don't want to get an infection when you're in here because you've been here for a long time. It's like, right, don't want to get an infection, don't want to get an infection. Then I got an infection. I was like, oh, for God's sake, I'm going to be in here for weeks now.
Yeah. Because they've already sowed the seed, haven't they, in your mind? And then once it triggers it.
Yeah. But it was no fault of my own. It was because of whatever they did in theatre I got infected.
Yeah.
And do you know what? Through the treatment as well, I had some infections as well, and it's not. You think it's like external factors, but sometimes it's just inside your body just creates an infection of some sort, and you could be as clean as a whistle, and your body will pick up an infection internally.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, right, okay, so you're planning to go home in 2 days' time, but now you've got an infection. You can't go home till we've got rid of that. So that could be another 2 or 3 days or something like that. And you're like, I just wanted to go home for a week before my next treatment and that kind of thing. And and that's really frustrating. It's and like you said, Andy, it's just one of those things that you pick up an infection. You could be the cleanest person in the world and you'll still pick one up somehow. Because your immune system's just so low, isn't it? You've got very low protection against anything, and so your body can't fight it off because the chemo's killing off all the white blood cells and stuff like that, isn't it?
But no, I just felt lost in a way because I've only got, and obviously Callie would have to shower me, sort me out, and there's half an hour, 45 minutes gone straight away.
Yeah.
And then chat to you for 15 minutes and then they go.
Yeah. I found bedtime really difficult,
Yeah.
I found it really strange because when you're at home, you have like a bedtime routine, and you I don't know, you turn the telly off, you lock the doors, you get yourself a drink or whatever, and you go up to bed and that kind of thing. When you're in hospital, if you're in a room on your own or you're in a room with a group of people, I think that the routine was they'd come round and they'd make you a tea or coffee sort of late in the evening, 6 or 7 o'clock or whatever. And then that was it. You wouldn't see any other nurses, and that was it. And you would put yourself to bed whenever you wanted to, and there was nobody to sort of say. I almost wanted somebody to come in and go, right, lights out, it's bedtime. And it was like, oh, okay, so I can go to bed anytime I want to, yeah. And then you'd have the bloke next to me would be listening to the radio at like 3 o'clock in the bloody morning, and he was half deaf, so it was really, really loud. And the last thing I want to hear when I'm going to bed is all these late night love affair songs on the radio, all these romantic love songs. I just want to go to bloody sleep, and he's listening to this at silly o'clock in the morning. But yeah, I found that really strange, just going to bed at night. Just I don't know if you ever had the same thing. I just wanted somebody to come and turn the light on and say, "No, night, Aid, see you in the morning." But nurses have got their own things to be worrying about. But yeah. I didn't need to be tucked in or have a story, but it was just sort of like, right, come on, I think you should go to bed now.
Liar.
Because I was on 5 antibiotics, so they come for the night.
Yeah.
To give me, I can't even remember the time. It was twice in the night where they had to come and do me. And then in between give me my controlled painkillers and all that. So I didn't get much sleep. No.
I had. I remember one night they gave me chemo treatment throughout the night, so it was delayed. I think it was delayed in the day, so they gave it me at night. So the whole night, I'm on a. I had the chemo, and then I have to go on a saline drip, and I think that's where they then flush it all out or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just a constant drip all night. So every half hour I need a piss. So I'm having to fill up these those cardboard tubes, those bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then because then they had to measure it. They had to measure how much I was passing to then measuring how much I was drinking as well. So you'd have a chart, and I'd say, right, I've drank, I don't know, a quarter of a litre or something like that, right? So they could then monitor how much is coming out and going in and that kind of thing. And I just remember one night they were saying that they were understaffed, and they were I was supposed to press the buzzer every time, and then they'd come and take the bottle off me, and then they'd measure it. But they were so understaffed. I had about 6 or 7 piss bottles along the walls.
And that's exactly what happened to me, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I had like 5 or 6 of them by me, because I couldn't go to the toilet.
No.
And, by the morning, they're all full, aren't they?
Yeah, and it stinks.
Come in and it stinks. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. And then there's some poor bugger has to come and collect them all, don't they? Oh,
yeah.
I did feel sorry for them, but you couldn't get any sleep at night because you just constantly needed a wee. Yeah. And then they monitor it, and then they do some sort of test or whatever. But yeah, that night they were really understaffed. And I had another. This is going a bit off topic, but I remember one night I was fast asleep, and this guy walks in uniform, and he says, "Right, come on then, in your cut. Time to go." I was like, "What?" I don't know what time it was. It was like early hours of the morning. I was like, "What?" He goes, "Come on, you're going for your scan." I haven't got a scan. I haven't got a scan. He goes, "Yeah, you have. Come on, it's down here. Come on." I was like, "Oh God, no, this isn't right." And then he goes to grab the so I'm on some sort of drip. I don't know if it's a chemo or it's a saline drip. But he goes to grab that because I think he thinks it's like headphones I'm listening to. He goes to grab it and he's almost ripped it out. I went, no, bloody hell, that's my bloody treatment thing. And then a nurse comes in and goes, "What's going on?" And I said, this bloke tells me I've got a scan. And she goes, "No, that's, no, it's for Mr. Singh." And he goes, "Yeah, I've got Mr. Singh here." And I'm like, I mean, not being funny, but I'm not a Mr. Singh. And she was just like, "No, he's in the bed next door." And he was like, "Oh, okay," and walked out. I didn't get a bloody apology. And he nearly came in, ripped the tubes out of me, and then they took me for a scan. Poor Mr. Singh was going to get a right heart attack. He'd have he'd probably got in with a sore throat, and he's going to go home with a bloody lymphoma, isn't he, when he gets his scan? Jesus.
Reminds me, because they do come all hours of the night, don't they?
They do.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
Yeah.
It's just one coming, he was new. He's like, "Right, I'm taking you for a scan." I'm like, "All right, yeah, no worries." And then they have to go with a nurse, don't they, when you go for a scan? So he takes me down. He's taking me down to theatre. I'm like, I said to this bloke, I said, "There's no MRI scanners down here." Yeah. There's one down here. I'm like, "Mate, there isn't. There's none down here." And the nurse had just started. She was like, "Oh, I don't really know if there's any down here." I'm like, "Look, listen to you. There's no scanners down here." Whether they thought, because I had brain surgery, I didn't know what I was on about. So I got down there, and the lady goes, "Why are you in a wheelchair?" I'm like, "Come down for a scan." I said, "There's no scanners down here. They brought the wrong person." I'm like, "You brought the wrong freaking person down. What are you doing?" So they had to take me back up, and then I went for a scan in an MRI scan. But I'm like, so carried with me yesterday, and they were like, the day after, and they're like, "Are you for real?" I said, "Yeah, I went down to theatre for an MRI scan."
Yeah.
Because I've been down there that many times, and I know the lady. So what are you doing down there? The scan. She's like, "No scanners down here, mate." They took me back up.
Oh, that's brilliant. Did you go through the tunnels? I don't know if you've ever done it. So I got took to a few areas of the hospital, and they take you through the underground tunnels kind of thing, where all the porters hang out and where they keep all the trolleys and stuff like that. That's a bit weird. Because you don't go down the normal corridors.
Right.
Yeah, they took me to sort of the underground route of that kind of thing, and that was quite strange. And you get and then there's all like the porters there having a crafty fag or having a laugh and stuff like that. And I say a crafty fag, but I never saw it. But it's like their little den. That's where they hide out, kind of thing, and get away from it all. And that was kind of strange. But no, it was quite nice chatting to some of the porters. They're just really sort of down to earth people, and they'll just you can have a good honest chat with them, and they'll, and just,
Yeah,
what you in for? I'm having this done. He goes, oh, I hope you're okay, that kind of stuff, and you find a common ground, you find an interest, or
that's it, mate. Yeah,
football team
yeah,
and stuff, and it's people like that make the system go around, really, don't they? They're shipping people here, there, and everywhere, and
yeah.
they're a bit of a dab hand with those wheelchairs. I still don't understand why you have wheels at the back of a wheelchair. How do you steer them things? But they've got it down to a T.
Oh, they have, yeah. You flick you around in really everywhere, don't they?
I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
And I hated being in a wheelchair. It felt so. I just wanted to walk everywhere. It would take me 4 days to get there, but I just wanted to walk everywhere. And they were like, "No, you're in the chair. Sit down." And you're like, and then you're getting pushed around, and everyone can see you in the wheelchair, and they see you with your no hair, and they must be going, "Oh dear, look at him," and that kind of thing. Oh, don't, I don't want
you
this.
feel like you're a bit on show, didn't you? When you're in the wheelchair?
You do. You look pathetic, don't you, with your dressing gown on and your slippers and all that kind of thing. And it's like, just swallow me up. Just. But, at least we can laugh about it now, because at the time it's quite nerve-wracking and all that kind of stuff, isn't it? And it's quite worrying.
When I was in hospital aid and Darren, I kept ordering my food and it'd always come wrong. Like, I'd order like chips and fish and chips, and it'd be chicken nuggets and stuff like that. So I ended up having a lot of cheese sandwiches or egg sandwiches, or when they go and get the egg sandwiches because they haven't got no food you like.
The emergency sandwiches. The
one bloke come up and said, there's your sandwiches, mate. I said, oh, great. He says, you do realise they charge £25 every time we go and get these sandwiches? I'm like,
what?
£25? He's like, yeah, because the ward I was in was owned by... Who owns the car park? Could be the people who own the car park. They own this side of the hospital, and they charge the hospital, the NHS, £25 for going to fetch a sandwich, bringing it up here. I was like, geez, that's bad. That's not... That's what he says. Yeah. He said, blame Tony Blair, because he's the one who bought it on this hospital. This was the warden person. I was like, is that what he did?
Yeah. Was it a nice sandwich, though, Andy?
They were nice, but I wouldn't have thought like £5.
Not 25 quid nice.
No, not 25 quid for a sandwich.
No, and I didn't get any food, and because I'd go out, got me 2 arms, and I'd go out and said, am I getting food tonight? What's your name? Andrew Bailey. You've been ticked off if I've had food. I said, look, I haven't had any food. I'm really hungry now. Get your sandwich. Yeah, get your sandwich. This was like,
that's a common thing.
I'm really hungry now.
That's a common thing, Andrew, because they did that to me. The chap come in to look on the night time, and I said, is there any food going, mate? And I was starving. And he went, oh, well, just a minute. And he went, oh, you've had your tea then? I said, I haven't had a thing. This was one of the first days I went in there this week before I could still eat. I think it was, oh no, it must have been as I was starting to come out, because I could have like bits of other stuff, And then he looked on the thing there, and they ticked a lot. I had something to eat. He went down and said, I didn't think bloody down there, mate. He said, it's a little while, mate. He said, I'll go off. And he went off, and he come back, and he'd been down the shop downstairs. And when he got some bits out there for me. It's like, he never had to do it. No, he said, I'll have a bloody word with these, I'll have a word with the sister later when I see her. He was kicking off about that one.
I mean, it happened quite a few times for me, so I don't know why. They just didn't like feeding me in Ward 228.
Right. No. So is this the reason why the NHS is struggling at the moment? It's because of the cost of all your bloody sandwiches, Andy?
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
They're going bankrupt because of Andy's cheese sandwiches.
Yeah. I do like a cheese sandwich, though. I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, that's the day.
Then we see what's in his lunchbox, shall we?
Yeah. I don't want to go anywhere near his lunchbox. Thank you very much.
But put that in the quiz. Are you low town again now, aren't you? Yeah. I do think we get through episodes about you low town. You're already talking about little pricks, and you can't help yourself. You can't help himself, Andrew. You can't.
Oh, no.
Don't worry, Jack will find it for you, mate. Don't worry.
Jack?
Right. I think on that bombshell, we should probably bring this debacle to a close. Just to anybody who's listened to it for the first time, why are you only listening to it now? No. So, yeah, we're just three blokes talking about cancer and cars and that kind of thing. We haven't really talked much about cars this week, have we, gents? We need to put that right next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about cars or something like that or whatever. But yeah, you can find us on Spotify and help me out here, gents, YouTube. And we've got a channel on Instagram. And I was thinking, gents, just before we go, maybe we start sharing people with our cars and what we're working on and our projects and stuff, and we can give them updates. And I think we talked about putting something on Instagram. So maybe we could, when you do bits and bobs, or whether you can send me some pictures and I can put it on the Instagram page, just showing people your car and what you've done to it and that kind of stuff, if you like. And then as we're working on, because I know you're doing some work on yours at the moment, Andy, and I'm doing work on mine, we can start showing some of the things that we've done. I don't know if we could put all that on Instagram or whether that would be a bit too lengthy or whether we link it to another page or something. I don't know, but I think it might be people might want to. I don't know why anybody would be interested looking at what I'm doing, but if anybody wants to see what we're working on with our cars and stuff, I think it might be of interest to some.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah,
put some bits out there.
So maybe over the next couple of weeks we have a look at putting something together about that.
Yeah, definitely.
And that kind of stuff. Is there anything you want to say before we go? Any pearls of wisdom, gents? Anything you'd like to say?
Yeah. Don't order cheese sandwiches from the NHS. Not cheap.
Yeah, so take your own bread, take your own butter, and take your own cheese. That's what you're saying, Andy, yeah?
Yeah.
That's the show closer, that one is.
That's the perfect end to the show, that is. These podcasts, we aim to get them out. Have you moved your phone again?
Sorry. Is that all right now?
Let's see. No, still hear it.
It's been in the same position for the last half hour. I know that because the blood's running out my arm down back to my elbow and my fingers are going numb now.
Going blue.
These podcasts, we try and get them out. We record them on a Monday night and we try and get them out to you by 8 p.m. on Tuesday. I just have to take out some of the inappropriate language that Darren comes out with and all that kind of stuff and whatever, obviously. So full-time job just filtering that out. But when it's ready to go, it's normally out at that time. Usual thing, like and subscribe, send a comment, tell us how great we are, tell us how terrible Darren is, and and that kind of stuff. That'd be really nice. And if you don't want Darren on the podcast anymore, we can set up a petition and get rid of him. We're happy to do that. So
be a 3 man.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much, gentlemen. It's been lovely speaking to you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, and we shall.
Thanks for the.
Say that again, mate.
Thank you for the insults. It keeps me going.
It does. Yeah, it makes me feel a lot better as well.
I know it does, mate. As long as I can do something to make you feel better, mate, that's all that matters.
Well, have a great week, gents. Good luck with the chemo, Andy, and we'll catch up same time next week.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
All the way, gents. See you later. Take care now.
All the best, Andy.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Hey.
Ta-da.
Bye.